What was the worst thing you did at a funeral? My brother and I were at a funeral to support our cousins because it was their grandmother on the side not related to us who died. But neither of us were really emotional being there, so things were awkward and solemn. We had lots of time to stand around and people watch. Enter stage right, the kid. The kid was one of our cousin's cousins. We were not related to him but we knew him enough to have talked with him before this funeral. Kid was probably 12 to 13. Kid definitely did not understand the seriousness of the occasion. He was very happy and lucky throughout the day. Me and my brother kept expecting him to have a serious moment at some point, to break up the running around and showing us that he had a cookie hidden in his suit jacket pocket while in the room with the open casket. He did eat it at one point there too if I remember right. Kid comes up on his own to the open casket and pauses looking in. Me and my brother on the other side of the room hold our breath thinking this is the moment. He's thinking about things, death is clicking in his head and he's realizing that it's his grandmother he is looking at. The moment passes, and the kid, in what I can only describe as kind of a more horizontal, selfie-taking-esque pose, leans backwards next to the casket looking up at the ceiling like the body is facing. Who look at each other confused and worst of all, starting to crack up at the realization that the kid was trying to see what the corpse's view was from in the coffin. It was not actually that humorous, but the tension of spending hours surrounded by grieving people we didn't know well, in a room with a corpse made this moment move from simply bewildering to funny to the point that both of us started to crack up against our will. Except we were still standing in a room with an open casket and many crying, grieving people who we did not know well, and it was like the dam had broken. The more I knew I shouldn't laugh, the more I tried to hold it in, the more the situation's ridiculousness occurred to me and the more I needed to laugh, to the point that my abs actually hurt trying to hold it in. I look at my brother and see this same realization in his eyes, so I immediately duck my head down and try to pass off my shaking shoulders from holding in the laughter as crying of my own. Both me and my brother urgently shuffled through the crowd of grieving people, both of us trying to look as overcome with grief as possible till we are out of the viewing room and into an empty side room, at which point, we both proceeded to utterly lose it for 15 minutes, desperately hoping no one would walk in through the open door to see us crying laughing over what we had just seen. I think of this every single time I see that kid.